All right, getting a head start. We're live. Drink coffee with me. Is it too late for coffee? Noon is my cutoff, so I got 2 minutes. But if you're here, thanks for being here today. It's a little bit later than I normally do the live streams. And today we're going to look at some stuff that we're going to prepare to ship out. And it's a lot of great stuff you might be able to see in the bottom corner here. We'll flip over and go look at that stuff. You can see there's some, I can see some English Tan Dublin. We got some Royal Blue Cypress. I actually haven't looked at these yet. So it'll be a fun, exciting moment for me too. Let me know if you can hear me. Hopefully things are coming across properly. If you can see me, that'd be good too. And if you're in the chat, please say hi. It's always great to chat. After we look at some stuff, I'll thank you guys, everybody that's ordered. I'll try to thank everybody personally, but I would love to answer some questions. So if you guys want to chat, have a question, have a comment, let's talk it up. What's up, Jeff and Rob? Good to see you guys. Yay, stuff. Midday leather bonanza. Let's get to it. Let's look at some stuff. I'll flip over the camera here. It takes me a second to bring this whole microphone over there. All right, we got stuff. Is there another first-time caller in the chat? Last time we had somebody say it's a long-time lurker, first-time caller. All right, we're over. Let's see if I can get this set so I don't have to hurt myself talking. Okay. All right. I mentioned there's some English Tan Dublin. Looks like we got a Capone here, a couple Capones. And by the way, if you hear any crazy noises, I'm in the workshop here. We make stuff. Making wallets right now. This is an English Tan Dublin Capone money clip. Haven't put the hardware in this one just yet, but I think we just restocked some of these. I'm actually looking over at a table of a bunch of English Tan Dublin stuff, including this Capone. It looks like there's some Herbies and maybe some Tonys or Bugs over there. So a couple Capones in English Tan Dublin going out today. I just love the natural character on the Dublin and the color. Looks like we need to still polish this guy up. But that English Tan color with that orangey tan, it's just so nice. And then it's got a nice depth to it because of the way that the leather is finished. There's a wax layer that is applied to the grain. There's a wax layer over the that Dublin tannage, which is interesting because it's actually tanned using the same tree barks as this shell cordovan here. And this is natural shell cordovan for our Frank the Enforcer. Still, everything in the bin here has just been pulled from our inventory. So our goal today is to finish everything up. Make all the edges nice, bright, and shiny, give them a little waxing and burnishing, and then, of course, polish up, in this case, the shell. Or if it's Dublin, we give it a little brushing. Sometimes we put it on our buffing wheel. Here's my favorite black leather round. This is black Dublin, also on the Capone money clip. You might be able to see as I tilt it in the light here, that grain character of the Dublin. This is something you don't see on a lot of black leathers, and it kind of bothers me. Most black leathers are very flat, and they almost start to look more like plastic or paint. But Horween's Dublin leather is a really natural, full grain, very interesting black, which is you don't often see. So we've got another component English Tan. I'm just going to skim through that guy. Looks like we got a color 8 shell cordovan Capone going out today, and I love our black and color 8 items. I've been talking about this on the live streams a lot, that we do a matching hand-stained edge. So it's the same exact dye that's used on the shell. We are applying it to the edges, so it gives it a super clean look. Then we put a little bit of wax, a lot of handwork to burnish up those edges. Looks like we got a private stock Vic Snap wallet here. And this is the hatch grain color 8 with our snap closure. This must have been from a few weeks ago from a private stock. And sometimes when we do those private stocks, there's just so much stuff. I think this is also a private stock. Brown Nut Dublin one-shot card case here. Sometimes when we have like 70 items in the private stock, some of the items get buried a little bit deep on the product pages. Here's another one-shot. You can see the bloom here. This is a natural shell cordovan one-shot card case. And you might be able to see a little bit of this like hazy look. Now, some people think, let's see if I can zoom in on it for you. See this like little bit of wax? Some people think that that's a problem, but as the leather sits around, if it's been tanned with a ton of waxes and oils, like the shell cordovan here, you will see some of that wax come back up to the surface. And for a bunch of years, this leather was described as self-polishing for this reason. So you can see as I rub my finger over it, just very lightly, we're sort of blending the waxes back into the shell there, which is very special. You kind of want to see a little bit of that, and we call it bloom. Just the wax is coming back up to the surface. See a little bit more of it on the backside here. See that little bit of wax? But if I just lightly rub it, some of that wax comes back off. It's kind of a fun parlor trick. Anyways, I notice it happens a lot more when the temperatures change. When it gets cold and hot, it's almost like it squeezes the wax out of there. Here's a vault key holder in English tan Dublin. Still need to put the screw posts in here. And this one snaps open. And then on each of these holes, there's like a little rod that fits between, and you can hang your keys off of it. And I like to put 3 keys on each of those screw posts. Looks like we got another English tan Dublin key holder going out today. And then a bunch of fobs. I guess I'll skim through some of these. This looks like the this looks like the inverted ultraviolet, which is pretty neat. And a bunch of, looks like a bunch of black in color 8. It does seem like we sold through most of the key fob loops, which is great to see that people are interested in that. And the way we work here is we will try to make things that you want. So I saw there were some comments. They're like, please restock this. So now we know you like the key fob loops and these simple single layer key fobs. But it seems like people like the loops a little bit more than the single key fobs here. Also got one in natural here too. Cool. And we got some Venetian shoe cream. This is a really nice neutral polish. I've been using this on my Chrome Excel and Essex boots. It's very loud and annoying. It sounds like a dentist office here, right? But I use this Venetian cream. It's like a nice neutral polish. It will give you some luster because there is wax in this shoe cream, but it is not as bright and shiny as something like the Saphir Cordovan cream, which has, in my mind, I don't know, I can't verify the like percentage of wax in it, but it certainly seems like there's more wax in the Saphir Cordovan cream, and it might be a harder wax, which gives it the leather, when you apply it to the leather, gives it a little bit more fills in like any scratches, but also lends to a brighter luster normally. So this is a piece of shell cordovan. We haven't even polished this yet. This is one of my favorite wallets that we do. It's 100% color 8 shell cordovan, and I'll try to focus it for you. 100% color 8 shell cordovan, and it's beautiful. Really great to see. Haven't even polished this yet, so it'll get even shinier, and that's kind of what you want to see on a piece of shell cordovan. Just a very mirror-like shine, and it should feel very flat and smooth. And if I zoom in on it, hopefully it can zoom, it should also appear very, very flat and smooth, unlike the Dublin. And let's pull out the small zip that I forgot to show you. If you look at the Dublin very closely, you might be able to see some of that grain character. It's very different than the shell that is very, very flat and smooth. See how there's much less character, or much less grain, because there is no grain on the shell. There's less texture, generally speaking, as opposed to the Dublin here. And this is our small zip. Should have mentioned one of our favorite items here. We have a Reverie zipper on the outside and this black horsehide on the interior. Still need to clean up the threads on this guy. Let's keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. This is our most popular item right now, Johnny the Fox. We just looked at the 100% color 8. I think that's probably our most popular shell, Johnny the Fox. But for non-cordovan, we sell a lot of these English tan Dublin. And I think it's because people see this color and think of leather. I mean, we do sell a good amount of the blue too, but I don't think a lot of people think of a blue leather as like actual leather. I don't know. I certainly didn't. I used to think that leather was brown and there was only like one type, but it turns out there's an infinite amount of leather tannages that you can do. Different tree barks, different oils, different ways to dry it. There's so much different stuff you can do, and it all lends to a different product. That's why we started making wallets in 2011. So it's been almost 12 years here. Another English tan Dublin Johnny the Fox. We actually have this leather on the interior custom made for us because we require specifically thin leather that's also strong for the interior of this style. So on the outside, you'll see this little exterior piece is roughly twice the thickness as the leather that we use for these card holders. And that's by design. We also designed this leather with Horween and collaborated to make it with as little stretch as possible. So it's a really special thing that we're doing here, sort of making the wallets and then designing the leather to accommodate the needs of the wallets. Here's a brand new leather. I think it's maybe about a month old now. The Royal Blue Cypress on our Bugs Moran here. It's a really nice blue shade. Looks like I might have somebody at the door here. We also have a color number 8 shell Cordovan Bugs Moran. Again, with those hand-stained edges. Really clean look. And by the way, if you're in the chat, say hi. Drop me a question. I can't see the chat right now, which is perhaps a mistake. I should get like another computer monitor over here just to show me what people are saying. But I'd be happy to chat after show you some of these things here. Another Bugs Moran here, but this time in English Tan Dublin. Looks like another Bugs in color 8 shell. We'll skim through that. There is somebody at the door. You want to grab the door? Thanks. Excuse my wire. I'm like a mess of wires behind me. We got a brown Cypress, Tony the Ant here. This is just like that blue we looked at, but with a different dye added to it in the drums. And when I say added to it in the drum, that's something that's called drum dyed. So if you look at the center here, this is actually the back side of the leather. So on the top, it's the grain. But on the reverse side, this is called the flesh side of the leather. And you'll notice the color is not the same, but it's roughly similar. So especially on the blue, you can see a little bit better here. Because this leather is drum dyed, you get a little bit of this blue cypress on the grain side, the blue color, and then the reverse side is a similar color. Hey, what's up? Oh, I'm making tripwires behind me for people coming in the shop here. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. All right. And then, so this is the Fat Herbie. This is actually the wallet style that I've been wearing. And you'll notice that as I've worn it, the luster has increased a significant amount. And I haven't polished this. I haven't applied anything to it. I haven't done any brushing, nothing. Just wearing it has become much more glassy. And this has been a couple months of wear here. And I love it. It's very resilient leather, super tough. And then you get that really unique blue color that I love. And there's also a little bit of a depth of color too. We can see some of these lighter blue undertones. And then a little bit of a darker blue surface. Great stuff. I love the Cypress. I'm really happy with how Horween is done on that. Looks like we also have some Tonys in color 8 shell Cordovan back again. So the Tony the Ant here is sort of like the Fat Herbie in that it has an exterior bill slot here with that thumb notch, but it is in a smaller form factor. It's a little bit smaller in your hand as opposed to the Herbie, which is a little bit taller. So we originally were making the Fat Herbie in 2011, but people like the style of it, the visual aesthetic with that exterior bill slot, but they want it a little bit smaller. So you can see the size difference here of the Tony the Ant on top of the Fat Herbie, significantly smaller. But what it has forced us to do is change around the card layout on the interior. So you'll see the cards are inserted from the sides like this. And the larger two compartments here, you can actually fit US dollars folded in half in those. And cards on top. When I wear these, I like to put 3 cards in each, and you put a ton of cash in the back, maybe like 20 bills. But the Herbie, even when you fully load it up with cards in each of these slots, it lays flatter because we're spreading out our credit cards over more surface area. And just for me, it's just a better back pocket wallet, and it's great to see a really large context of leather, like on the Fat Herbie here. You get to see all the natural variants in the English Tan Dublin in this case. Really beautiful. Love that English Tan Dublin. All right, and we do have a bunch of other key fobs going out. Let me flip it back over and see what you guys are chatting about. Ooh. People in the chat. Good to see you guys. Let me flip it. All right, we're back. Okay. All right. 9 is here. Long time and serious Ashland supporter. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, 9 while 9. I'm having a hard time reading. It's my fault, not yours. But due to timing, this is the first live chat. So good to see you, man. Good to have you here. And I love doing these. It's my favorite part of the day. Seeger's here. Matt Zimmerman, good morning. Good afternoon. I guess it's afternoon now. Jeff D, visual and audio coming through. Chris, I love it. Next drop, hopefully this week, Mr. Chop Top. We're actually finishing those up now, and I need to start making the photos and videos for that. And I think you're going to be really happy. There's some really cool stuff coming, really unique pieces, and I'm so bad at spoiling stuff, so I won't do it. But there's incredible things coming up. Looking into the key loop, yeah, Alti. I'm sorry those sold out. You should know, we can make any of these things again. So if there's something you want that's sold out, we're more than happy to set you up with an order and make one as soon as we can, or reserve the first available for you. So the best way to do that is just to email my brother Matt, and his email address is info@ashlandleather.com. And all you have to do is say, I really want a key loop in XYZ leather and color. Can you do that? And he'll say yes or no. Most likely yes, especially if we have the leather. Good morning, Chase. John H is here. Love this ritual. We're trying to do it every day. I'm going to try to do it tomorrow too, although I'm booked in the morning. I might have to come in a little bit later like I've done today, because I had appointments in the morning today too. B-Fet's calling us all ash hats. What's patina on color look like? I'm not sure which leather you're talking about, Alti, but generally speaking, most veg tan leathers tend to want to turn a little bit golden brown and darker. So something like natural shell, if you want to see what that looks like, take a look at the homepage of ashlandleather.com, and there's a Fat Herby and natural shell cordovan with one that's labeled day 1 and one that's labeled day 1000. It's the same exact leather, just 1,000 days later, and you can really see that transformation. With winter in the rear view, it's time to burst out the leather while you can, I guess. What's up, Jaron? Ron Reyes. For someone new to leather, how can I tell what I'm buying is shell cordovan versus something else? Well, that's a really good question, Ron. There's actually multiple tanneries that will make shell cordovan. We have a close relationship with Horween. And if you really want to dig deep on this topic, I made a video a couple years ago called Leather Appreciation 101 that you can find on the YouTube channel. And what we did was we bought shell cordovan from every tannery and compared them and looked at it a little bit close up and talked about it with one of our employees at the time. And the best way to tell is just buying it from a reputable seller. And if they're telling you shell cordovan, it most likely is. Especially if it's Horween stuff, they sort of tightly control who can buy cordovan, because they don't want people to abuse that name and make poor product out of it. But the hallmark characteristics of cordovan are super bright, shiny luster. Looks like a mirror, really bright and shiny, and super, super smooth, like we just looked at in the video. And the other thing that's amazing, over there I've got some boots, but they never crease. So this is a piece of shell cordovan from my keychain belt clip here. And what I mean by never creasing is if I take this piece of shell and I fold it backwards on itself like this, or think about where your toe flex is, it will never delaminate because there is no grain layer to delaminate. So you'll never see like pebble patterns. As much as I press down on this thing or do something called backboarding on it, like really smush it, this will never develop those crease marks. So that's another really unique characteristic of cordovan that you'll only find in shell cordovan. That no other leather does that. But that's a good question. And if you have something that a lot of people come to me about asking about footwear, maybe they found on eBay. If you have a photo of something that you want me to see what I think about it, you can email me. It's phil@ashlandleather.com. Send me a photo and I'll tell you what I think. Chance Camp is here. Sherman Tan, have you tried ironing Dublin leather to straighten it? Great question, Sherman. It's almost like you're baiting me to talk about the podcast, because in yesterday's podcast episode with Matt Foster from Maverick Leather, he described his method for ironing Dublin. He literally takes a clothes iron and irons it smooth. I haven't done that personally. I have tried it on cordovan. I'm a little scared to do it, but apparently you can do it with great success, as Matt describes in yesterday's podcast. Check out Full Grain Podcast. And we just put up the video last night on a separate YouTube channel called Full Grain Podcast. Highly recommend it. I could use some subscribers over there too. If you guys want to sub to Full Grain, I'd really appreciate it. No Pain. Always good to see what you have on the live vids. Great to have you here, Noah. It's my pleasure, and I love doing this. Rodrigo's here. What's up? Is anyone carrying a Fat Herby in the front pocket? My dad does that. A lot of customers actually wear that in the front pocket. It wasn't designed with that in mind. It's a little bit bigger. But if you want to get a sense of whether or not this will work for you is if you have a passport, put a passport in your front pocket and see how that feels. Because this is roughly the size of a passport as a footprint, but depending on how much you put in there, like I'm loaded right now, I got a ton of cash inside, so it's like a little thicker than normal. But if you take out all your money, like I just did, it's not super, super thick, but it's roughly like 3 times the thickness of a passport. So it'll give you a good sense of how big it is. 9 Weil says, over the years, I've been able to pick up beautiful variety of leather goods from you, but one that I've always regretted missing was woolly Chrome Excel. Oh my God. Great question. And actually funny they bring that up. Another podcast episode, we talk about woolly. I would love to do more woolly Chrome Excel. I don't think there is any available to buy right now, but that's not to say I couldn't order it. Some of the best stuff we've seen, and Skip Horween talks to me about this a lot, his favorite product ever is woolly Chrome Excel belts. So if we could make some heavyweight woolly Chrome Excel, they're so bright and shiny. It's amazing. It's like very, very dense too when compared to the traditional Chrome Excel. So it's like perfect for a belt. It's awesome. I would love to do that again. And if people are curious, like what the hell is woolly Chrome Excel? It's Chrome Excel that is hot stuffed or nourished with a different blend of waxes and oils. And it's got a lot of wool grease in it, which is why it's called woolly Chrome Excel. Very similar. It actually has like a pretty distinct smell because of that wool grease. But the result is like much more dense Chrome Excel. It's very, very nice. John Hensley says, does Horween tan anything similar to Crazy Horse leather? You know what? I think I know what Crazy Horse is. I'm going to assume yes, but I don't know, John. I'm sorry. I don't want to lie to you. Bfett says, Ron, shell is always a bit shinier in surface and never ripples with grain. That's exactly right, Bfett. Jeff D says, I recently saw a post showing the baseballs. I had no idea baseballs were soft, like a firm stress ball. I'd always assumed they were actual baseball. Yeah, okay, good question, Jeff. We actually designed, and I should have done a better job of describing our thought process on the baseballs. We didn't think people would actually want to play baseball with a $250 baseball. We were thinking them more as like a desk toy. So we designed them to be like a little bit more of like a stress reliever ball. So they do have a little bit of squish, but we've thrown around a ball here. So you can certainly use it, but it's not as hard as a normal baseball because we thought it might be more fun. Just sit on your desk and squeeze it like a little bit of a stress ball. So they're not hard. John says, currently talking to Matt about a custom 1940s calf. Oh my God, check this out. I got a 1940s calf right next to me. And this stuff is crazy because it's 80 years old. But it's a little scary because it is old, but the tannery has done a nice job of oiling it off again to sort of rehydrate the fibers in here. But what I love the most about it, especially in this blonde color, is the color. It's just like a really beautiful shade. And it might be a little hard to see on this one. There's another one I have down here that has more intense character, but it has like a lot of this cool figuring in the grain also. I don't know if I can show. There you go. See that? It's so awesome. So 1940s calf is cool. I mean, we don't really sell it. We don't really tell people we have it. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you later. So we don't really sell it, and so it might seem like there's like an infinite supply of this, but no, there's literally a table at the tannery that has maybe 50 more of these little calf skins that just sit there. And once they're gone, obviously. You can't go back to 1940 and make more. But 1940s calf is super cool, John. I think a Herby or a tall Herby out of that would be absolutely crazy. No pain to answer a previous question from personal use. I love using my fat Herby as a front pocket wallet. Don't find it too large at all. That's good. Like I said, my dad does it all the time. Bowen, cool, says, do you know what the difference between Venetian shoe cream and Venetian leather balm? I think they're the same, but there is a company here in Chicago called CA Zoes that makes a bunch of different leather care products. I could be mistaken, but I think those are marketed with two different words for the same thing. I might be mistaken on that. But you might check out CA Zoes. I think they might even have a website, and they may be able to explain it. Ron Reyes says, thank you for explaining. I'll check out your previous video. It's called Leather Appreciation 101. And I like it so much that I'll link it to you. Hold on. It's one of my favorite videos that we've done. There you go. Check out, if you guys haven't seen Leather Appreciation 101 video, I recommend clicking that link now. Like, ignore the live chat and just go check it out. It's great. You can see me as a younger me a couple of years ago with longer hair. Lost in my place. Oh, I'm glad you checked out Full Grain Podcast, Jaron. I'm going to take all the chances I can to rep Full Grain Podcast. We've been really enjoying it. And we have up to 21 episodes now. So if you want to listen to nerds talk about leather, it's a good place to do it. I need some more guests. We got to line up some more interviews. Bethan says, is the key fob loop on your belt keychain the same style as the key fob loop? No, that's different. So that's a really good question. If you look at the video I put up yesterday, I compare this product here, which is called the keychain belt clip. I compare this with the loop. And the keychain belt clip here has a snap closure that you can loop around your belt and snap it closed like that. I actually don't wear it that way. I hang my keys from a ring off of this side, and then I clip this to my pants, to my belt loop. And the new keychain loop, key fob loop, is smaller. I don't have one here. Actually, I do. Hold on. Here's a color that we didn't actually release. This is the Navy Chrome XL. So the key loop here does not unsnap. And you'll see that the size is different and the hardware is different. So this is more of like a decorative identifier for your keys. When I wore this, I actually used, years and years ago, like 10 years ago, I used to use something like this. But I would put a carabiner in the loop. So I would clip this whole this literal carabiner. Nick gave this to me like 15 years ago. I would clip this through the loop like that, and then clip this whole thing to my pants. It's not terribly elegant, but that's how I used to use this. It's a little different than the keychain. I actually prefer this for clipping my keys to my pants. You kind of look like a janitor, which I like because it's just easy, but I'm not trying to impress anybody. Good question though. And next private stock drop, we're going to try and do something this week that will be, not like a traditional private stock, more of like a collection of similar type items. Beefhead says, I think you covered this, but can you make shell valet trays? I've seen, is size the issue? Yes. So we can do, I think we might even have some available right now, Beefhead. We do offer shell cordovan valet trays in this size. This is actually my actual valet tray that has like a microfiber cloth and a key fob in it. We do it in this size, the square one. But you see how big this is? This is like a whole shell. So the caveat with the shell cordovan valet trays is there are going to be imperfections in it. And subsequently, we've reduced the price on it because I didn't think it would make sense to use a perfect piece of shell for a valet tray. So we take cosmetically challenged shells and make them into those valet trays. All right, cool. Let's go and thank everybody that has picked up something. I'm so appreciative of you guys supporting us and appreciating the leather. That's what we're all about, just sharing all the leather with everybody. And part of sharing it is being able to wear it. Like me wearing this blue Cypress, this new color. I thought it was cool before, but as I wear it, I like it even more. So there's something special to wearing the leather, and it just gets better and better. All right, so we're gonna go down the list here. If you ordered something that wasn't a belt or made to order over the last day, you just saw all your stuff in the video here. So I'll probably list your name here. So thanks so much to Matthew D, Julie, Bryce, John R, Josh R, Benjamin H, Terry R, Joe W, Yoshimitsu, Stephen H, Ralph D, Kevin E, Mustafa H, Travis S, Vin D, Bobby R, Dane H, Joshua N, Houston D, Noah B, Zach H, Brandon C, John N, Clement R, Sean N, Pat K, Robert R, William B, Henry F, Zachary H, James H, somebody's name in Japanese that I can't read, Mary S, Marcus, Ronnie K, another name, Japanese I think, Brad S, Alex V, Chase K, Carl H, John P. Thank you guys so much. That was awesome. So glad that you guys were here with me in the chat. And it's funny that people show up at all because there's like 20 minutes warning for when I do it. But I will try to be here again tomorrow. Might be a little tricky with the appointments I have in the morning, but I will try to be here. That's my commitment to you, is to try to be here every day I can and show you what we're doing. Sam, I missed you. You had an earthquake in Pakistan. Holy crap. Hopefully you're all right. And you should not apologize for being late, man. Oh, man. All right, I got to head out, but I hope you guys have a really great day. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for chatting with me. Again, it's my favorite part of the day. I really appreciate you guys supporting us, and I'll see you again later. All right, take care, guys.